Hey, what's
Hey
going
you,
on?
how's it going?
It's going, you know?
I do know.
We were just
I
uh
know all about going.
we were just watching this video that Neve put up and then watching Soft White Underbelly, the Rebecca videos. Those are those are wild. Those are really wild.
Wait, what is it?
You know Soft White Underbelly?
No.
Soft White Underbelly is like a YouTube channel where this guy who has a studio in Skid Row has a bunch of like some of the wildest people on just for like a 30-minute interview. They just sit in front of like one of those classic like family photo studio style backgrounds and they just
Okay.
talk for like a half an hour. It's just like a chill interview. But Rebecca is like a trans homeless person who's like really addicted to meth. Like I've known some meth heads, never one that moves this much. It was it's a lot.
Hardcore tweakering.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Nice.
So, the the drug talk.
The
I,
drug talk.
I was curious. How
Uh-huh.
long have you been clean for?
Um, Probably about 15 years, I want to
15
say.
years.
Let's
Okay.
see, 2009, I believe, is the last time I did drugs. Yeah, about 15 years.
Okay. I've been clean
Is
for
that,
6.
that's 14. Yeah,
Oh
14
yeah.
years.
Okay. I got clean when I was 21. I went completely backwards. I got clean on my 21st birthday, which is extra
Damn.
backwards. Yeah. I feel like everybody usually will go out and get hammered and then like maybe be loose enough to do some coke and then start their drug habit there. Completely switched up on my 21st.
What was the drug?
Heroin.
Heroin
Yep.
based.
Yeah, it's a gold standard, you know. We uh
Hmm.
we have the expensive tastes, you know,
Oh
the
yes.
finer things,
Oh yes.
the finer
For
horrible
sure.
things.
Yeah. Heroin's a fun one.
Yeah. I'm still suffering a little from it. See my swollen ass hands.
Damn.
Yeah. I went a little farther. I like to get clean. I was shooting up the stuff that helps you get clean. Suboxone.
I tried that once. Um, it didn't go well. It like burned. It burned hard. Like it
Yeah.
burned a lot. Like a lot.
Yeah. Was it the
I
films back then?
No, it was the wafers. Um,
Wafers.
they've Yeah, like the little orange pills, like they were, I think they were called wafers
Oh.
because they dissolved under your tongue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. So now it's like they're like little Listerine strips that dissolve onto your tongue now. Yep. Mm-hmm. You still take those?
Hmm.
Same.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, yeah, they look like Listerine. Yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Base. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you have problems with the generic?
No, no, I, I heard from my doctors that people do,
I had a lot of
but
problems with them.
generic for me is perfectly fine, actually. Sometimes I even like them even better.
Really?
Yeah, like the yellow wrapper ones were great.
I never got the yellow wrapper ones. I only had Dr. Reddy's and whatever the fuck the little square ones were.
I
Like,
had the little square ones. Yes, I hated those.
yeah, those suck.
Yeah, those sucked.
I feel like the dosage is like so inconsistent. It's like they mix it all up.
Yeah.
They just like know how much they need of each, and then they pour it out, let it dry, and they cut it, and they don't know how much is in each one. So like one day I felt like I was taking like a quarter of one, the next I felt like I was taking three. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yep.
Yeah, felt the same way with
Did
generic
you
Adderall.
did you ever OD?
Once in New York City, in the Bronx,
How was that?
that was that was a wild experience. It's kind of a funny story too. I live in upstate New York, so
Mhm.
up around here you could do like 2 bags at a time, maybe like one or two. I wasn't like a hyper long time user, but
Mhm.
yeah, I could do like one or two up here. I went down there. I was like, I know they're way stronger down there. It's like I know. I'm gonna be careful. I did a
Mm.
quarter of one, and I fell out. I laid down on this chick's bed, and I
Mm.
woke up still just ripped off my ass. I was like, I woke up and everyone's around me. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Why are you all freaking out? And they're like, you were dead. And I'm like, dead? What do you mean? They're like, you were fucking purple. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, I felt like I took a really nice nap. And then they were like, we
Were you
called
messed
the
up for days afterwards?
no.
No, I
Strangely,
was,
no.
dude. I was messed up for days, dude. I was in rehab and I had snuck a bunch of my prescription Klonopin in with me, and one of the dudes snitched on me. So we both got kicked out. But before they went and searched my room, I just like swallowed like 5 of them, and just to like try to hide them. Because I had like 5 in my pocket, and then I had like 20 in the lining of my shorts and crap. And they never found the ones in my shorts, but the ones that were in my pocket, I had to eat them. So I get kicked out. By the time I get home, I totally freaking forget that I ever took those Klonopins in the first place. This is what Klonopin does. It'll make you forget
Yeah.
everything. So I forget that I ever even took them. So I go out to go shoot up. You know about like mixtures of like bars and heroin, right?
Yep.
Okay, so like for people watching, Xanax, Klonopin is like Xanax. Okay, Xanax and heroin is a lethal mixture. Like it's not necessarily always, but it is insanely dangerous. You do not
Very.
mix them, especially not at those high doses that I was mixing them at in that
Yeah.
moment. So I go, me and my buddy drive out my mom's car. Um, we go to Atlanta and go and shoot up. And as soon as I shoot up, I start to open my door and I say to my friend, Big Rich, I'm like, bro, I'm about to fall out. I'm about to fall out. I'm about to fall out. Next thing I know, I wake up in my backseat of my mom's car with him driving it. And they had ice bags all inside of my clothes, tons of ice bags inside of my clothes. And I was like, what's going on? He's like, bro, you died. Are you alive? And I was like, yes, I'm alive. Did you guys burn me with a cigarette? And he's like, yes, we were trying to get you to wake up. I had, and this sounds insane, okay? I will never believe anybody else who says something like this. I will never believe anybody else who says something like this. And I don't ever talk about this, but I watched myself get burnt with cigarettes. I know for a fact. I watched myself get burnt with cigarettes. I watched them punch me. I watched them stand over me, but I'm above them. I watched from above them do all this shit to me, and woke up in the back of my own freaking car. Um and like uh they thankfully, because I was so like hot, they said I was like turned white, my lips were purple and everything. They put ice bags all inside of my clothes. One of the my dealers wife was a nurse. She was the one who said that I was dead for a while. And so they put ice bags all inside of me to like try to cool my body down, and then picked me up, put me in the car, and I woke up in the back of the car. But he's like, bro, I got to get home. My parents are going to wake up soon, and if I'm not there, I'm going to get in a lot of trouble. And I'm like, wait, dude, you can't. I can't keep my eyes open. My mom needs this car to go to work in a couple hours. You can't go home and then just leave me to drive home. He's like, I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. I have to get home. So he gets home. I get in the car. I like ran laps around the gas station trying to wake my butt up, and I couldn't do it. So then I drive home, and I'm like weaving all over the place. I keep like nodding and popping back up, and nodding and popping back up. There's one point driving down the road. There's a median here. So, 2 lanes here, 2 lanes there. And I see a cop coming. And so I'm like, okay. Stay awake. Freaking stay awake. Don't swerve while the freaking cop's coming. I start swerving, wake up, like put my blinker on as I'm like going into the other lane and come back, and it didn't do anything. But all of a sudden, I wake up again, and I look behind me to see where the cop is, and I see a freaking road sign flipping behind me. And he had already passed it. So it's right, like it had to have happened right as we're passing each other. I went up on the median, hit a road sign, and the road sign is just like flipping in the street behind us. So I finally get to my neighborhood. Took like 30 minutes to drive there. Finally get to my neighborhood, pull into the neighborhood, and I just ran right into a freaking tree, totaling the car, and like kind of drove it home with like bumper like dragging the rest of the way up the hill and all of this crap. And I couldn't stay awake for maybe 3 days after that. Like I tried getting up, eating all sorts of stuff, and the whole time I was like,
Damn.
yeah, it was bad.
That's yikes. I when I woke up and I freaked out and I saw them all around me, they said we called 911, the EMTs are on their way. That snapped me out of it. I went, nope, never mind. Fuck that. I was like,
Get out of here.
my
Yeah.
dad's not finding out about this. And I was walking out this apartment complex in the Bronx. I went down the elevator with my buddy, and we were walking out the lobby, and as we're walking like to the door, the cops and the EMTs walk in. He was like, you should say something. I was like, you better shut your fucking mouth. I was like, you shut the fuck up. I'm not doing this right now. So we sat in my car, smoked a couple of cigarettes. They texted. They were like, they're gone. You guys can come back now. We go back up, and these girls that we were down there with, they live with their mom, and their mom was in the living room, which was, I guess, their bedroom, when we got back upstairs, and they told their mom that I had a diabetic fit. So she's like, we have cereal. You can eat something. And I'm like, thank you. I was like, you're really nice. We have cereal.
Wow.
That killed me. I felt
That's
so
funny.
bad. I felt so bad, but it's such a good story. I don't give a fuck.
Did you ever have somebody drop in front of you?
No. Strangely.
No.
No.
I had one guy drop in front of me once. And I've told this story on stream before, that I literally like curled up in a ball, like crying, sitting there freaking out, not knowing what to do, because if I call the cops and he lives, we're both going to jail.
Yeah.
And he's going to be pissed off at me for calling the cops, and our parents are going to freak out, and we're going to like lose our entire lives and everything. And so I'm just like laying there, like rocking back and forth, like curled up in this ball, like watching my friend like maybe dying. And I'm like, I don't know what to do, dude.
Yeah.
What do I do? I have to like make a decision to ruin our freaking lives right now, or wait it out and hope for the best. Like, I don't know what to do. It's a terrifying situation, dude. So terrifying. Like, you can't describe what it's like to go through that, sitting there choosing whether to save his life or ruin your lives. Like it's like, or save his life and ruin both of your lives at the same time,
Yeah.
or like not and hope for the best and maybe he dies and now it's all your fault. And like it's just it is, oh, it's a possible situation to put people in. Thankfully there's a bunch of laws that stop police going to OD cases now, to where like it makes it so that people are more likely to call 911 if there is an OD.
Okay.
um
I did not know that.
yeah, yeah. There's a lot of laws that do this today to make it a lot safer for everybody. But yeah, he woke up thankfully. But dude was 6'7" and fell like a freaking tree, just wham. I'm like,
Damn.
please tell me you're joking right now.
Oh my god. Um, have you ever induced psychosis in yourself?
I don't think so. What do you mean?
Like, have you ever done anything that's kept you up for days on end to the point where you were hallucinating a lot? No?
No,
Okay.
no.
So, okay. I
Like I smoked crack, I smoked meth, I like did a lot
yeah.
of this stuff, but I never did it habitually. I was never a fan of uppers. I
I,
took Adderall as a kid, so I kind of hated the feeling of uppers.
I used to hate the feeling of uppers, but now I'm on like 5 ants and I like it because it helps and it like adds just enough serotonin or dopamine or whatever the fuck the deficiency is with ADHD to like make me level where I'm not like a little like extra depressive sometimes, you know? Never like too bad. It was like just annoying, you know, but it's like
Mhm.
perfect now. But um the reason I was hesitating was like I don't know how much are you comfortable with me saying on your stream?
Whatever.
Anything? Okay. I don't
Yeah, we're
know.
fine.
Okay. So I was taking a fuck ton of e-pills to induce an orgy, and it was just like it was like four people. It was me, my friend, his girlfriend, and this other girl that I had known for a little while. Um, and I took 22 e-pills that night, and I was feeding them a bunch of e-pills because my buddy had borrowed my
Wait,
car.
22
I took
of what?
22 e-pills in one night
Why?
just cuz I was taking them like
What?
yeah, like as I was going, I just kept taking more and more and more, like just hanging out, just partying, and I just continuously
What
kept
the?
taking more. Yeah,
Why?
that was really stupid.
I don't think I've ever taken more than 3. Like that's
I was
wild,
taking them a
bro.
lot at
Okay.
that point. I was like, because my buddy was a e-pill
Real quick, do
dealer.
you have a separation between like rolls, Molly, like MDMA? Like, do you? So,
Yeah.
for me, where I come from, these are all the same things, just different forms.
So, yeah, I mean, kind of. It tends to be that like rolls, like the pressed e-pills, right? Those are like
Mhm.
they're never Molly. They're like they've got Molly in them, but they're other things most of the time. They're like a mix of shit. Like there was this one type of e-pill that was called blue ice, and the reason it was called ice or like blue ice was because it had the Gatorade ice stamp on it, and it was like a little bar. It was blue, and they were MDMA and acid. Those are the only e-pills I've ever had that were acid and Molly. They were the
Because
best,
yeah, rolls
but
are always grouped with
yeah,
another drug,
yep,
mostly uppers, sometimes downers. The
yeah.
best thing I ever had was like this legendary batch called Blue Dolphins. I don't know if you ever heard of
I
them,
have
but
not heard of them.
they were freaking, like, you can look them up. There's like still today they are considered like the best batch of rolls of all time. Those are the ones that I took 3 of, but yeah, they're like I always took rolls. I never took like straight E.
I like pure MDMA a lot. It's like not really an upper. You can just take a nap on it. It's just pure ecstasy. It's like actual like the feeling. It's just euphoria and like
Hmm.
you just want to hug everyone and like dance
Hmm.
and like focus on whatever the fuck else. Like I will still to this day do
I mean,
that.
that's how I felt on them.
I will still to this day do that at like a concert, like occasionally. I don't have any
Hmm.
problems with
Yeah,
those, so I'm
sure.
like, why not? Um but yeah, so I took 22 of these over the course of like a few hours, probably. And I was giving them pills as well because my buddy had borrowed my car and that's how he paid me because I was a fucking idiot. Um, so we, I was feeding them. I took these fuck ton of them. I wasn't functional, so I was just chomping down my buddy's girlfriend for an hour, embarrassed as fuck. Um, and then my buddy picked me up. He's like, "You fucking reek, like pussy." And my other friend was like, "Don't fucking tell anybody this happened." And as soon as I got in the car, my buddy was like, "You guys had an orgy." He's like, "You fucking reek." He was like, "You smell awful." I was like, "Yeah, don't fucking tell him you found out. Not that you weren't going to." But I was up for 3 days because of those. And on the third day, I was driving, which I should not have been doing, but I was very awake. Um, I was driving and I remember seeing a a man walking his child across the street in like a yellow raincoat, like the most stereotypical hallucination kid you've ever heard of. Is what happened. And I slammed on my brakes and they fucking vanished. And I was like, no. I was like, that did not just fucking happen. Oh, fuck. And then later that night, I was at a buddy's house with the guy that shot me up for the first time and uh, two other people that were just um, like acid heads that smoke a ton of weed, you know? Um, I remember while I was in this guy's basement, they were all smoking. I was like seeing people hiding around the room and I was like, guys, you can give up the shtick. I can see everyone hiding. You're like very clearly peeking out at me and like looking like what the fuck. And my buddy's like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, nobody else is here. And I'm like, dude, they're right in front of me. I was like, I'm looking at them, peeking out, looking at me. I was like, I'm making eye contact with these people. They're there, okay? They're there. And the whole time I was like, you
Do
guys
you
are
not
trying to have an
like?
intervention for me.
Do you not when it happens like that? Like, do you not like think that you're hallucinating or
It's
what? What
so
is?
convincing. It was so convincing because they looked
Like,
like they were standing right there. And I
I
forgot
had
about the kid
one.
earlier.
I only had one trip where I had like hardcore hallucinations, but I went into like a trance where I like entered into like a poster or something. But I knew I was like tripping hard and that I was just kind of out of my freaking mind.
Yeah,
Um,
that's fair.
it like I knew the whole time.
I wasn't tripping. That was the
So
crazy
you didn't
part.
expect hallucinations.
Exactly. Like I so I saw these people. I thought they were trying to have an intervention for me, right? And then we were everyone's like, we need to go to Taco Bell, right? So we go out to my car, and as we're walking out the fucking house, I see an entire camera crew, like a crowd of people next to his trampoline in his yard. Just a huge camera crew crowd of people. And we walk to my car. I sit in the driver's seat. I look at him and I go, "You're really going to let me drive right now?" And he was like, oh yeah. So, but while I was sitting in the driver's seat, through the windows of my car, I saw hundreds of people surrounding the car, closing in very slowly. But I open the door, I don't see them out the door. I keep the door open, I can still see them through the windows. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what is going on? Like, I can see them all through the windows, but they're not there through the door. So we switched. Uh, my buddy drove, and all through the time we are in this Taco Bell drive-through, I'm thinking you guys are setting me up for some crazy hallucination. You guys are setting me up for some crazy intervention. You guys called the show intervention, and that's the camera crew. I was like, you guys set up intervention for me. That was really what I thought. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. So I thought they were setting me up for some crazy like surprise thing. I don't. I've never fucking really watched that show either. Do they do surprises? I don't fucking know. But it was ridiculous. I'm like freaking the fuck out the whole time. Like, you guys are setting me up. I was like, I don't know what's going on. But we get back. I go to bed in his like recliner chair or whatever, and wake up the next morning, and I'm like, what's going on, guys? And they're like, there he is. He's back. We can tell. It's pretty clear he's not fucking nutbag Dylan anymore. Oh my god. That was an experience. That was probably the craziest thing that I've ever done to myself.
Yeah, that's wild, dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
I had friends who, like, I would go see them while they were on meth,
Mm-hmm.
but if I knew they had been up for more than like 24 hours, I did not want to deal with them. I
Oh
was
yeah.
not going to be around them. They got super pissed, super aggro. Like, they were always like, upset about something and like digging holes in their freaking front yard for no reason. And just like, yeah, they were. I couldn't stand people who were like up for numerous days, but up for numerous
Yeah.
days on meth. A little bit different than numerous days after
It could have been meth.
after some X.
It could have been meth in that, you know? That's there was another ice pill that was a white ice pill that
Wait,
was just meth.
didn't
But
this didn't this happen to Destiny recently where he was trying to take X and
I
he
think it
got
was
meth instead?
yeah, I think it was like he was getting like Molly, like just MDMA, and it was meth, which
Uh-huh.
happens a lot because they look kind of similar if you're not like paying attention.
So
But
then what are you when you say you're taking X, what were you taking?
the pills, like the pressed colorful pills.
So you were taking rolls
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. You said that they were the blue ice. Okay.
Though no, those were a different time. Those are just like an
Oh,
example of like my favorite ones that I've had around here. But
okay.
that was like 3 years prior, 4 years prior. I think I was in high school when I had those.
So are you still in New York? Or where are
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, I'm in upstate New
Yeah.
York, near Albany. It
I'm
sucks
from
up here.
Staten Island.
You're from Staten Island.
Mm-hmm.
So is the schizo from last night. He's probably watching.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I heard he's
Yeah.
from Staten Island. Did you see I had a debate with him the other day on here?
I didn't.
Yeah, he was the same way the entire time, like constantly talking over me, constantly not addressing my arguments, constantly pivoting to other things. Like it was everybody afterwards like, bro, why did you let him pivot all over the place? Why wouldn't you hold him in one spot? I'm like, I would try for a little bit, and then you just kept pivoting. So after a while, I was like, okay, it was just here for the ride, whatever.
Yeah. I finally got him to think about something today. I
Oh,
pressed him on
smart.
his definition of murder. Yeah. 'Cause he was like,
Well, at the end of our conversation, he was actually like, my bad, man. I get a little too excitable sometimes. Like, you're
yeah,
chill. You've been super good faith. Like he was fine, but like in the middle of the debate, like he was hyper aggro and like yelling and crap.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can
We
appreciate
were
when
talking
someone's
about
like
Hunter
cool
Biden,
after.
so
Oh, shocker. You know?
yeah.
Oh my God. What's your take on all of that? Just the general take.
I'm actually like making like a documentary style video essay on the entire thing right now, and
Okay.
I'm like trying to get as much detail as possible. Currently, I feel like it's there's a lot of suspicious stuff going on, but it's not there's nothing concrete.
Yeah.
Um and there's conservatives like throwing literally everything at the wall. They see like the smallest thing and they're like, somebody sent somebody else an email. That's illegal. Or like,
Yeah.
just like the smallest little things they just freak out about. And it muddies the water so much to where it's hard to really try to even um, empathize at this point. So like I have a little bit of frustration with liberals about the fact that they have this like very like nothing's happening there, nothing's wrong, nobody like the Bidens are fine, literally never done anything wrong. There's no evidence of anything, and it's like okay, there's evidence of like weird stuff
Mm-hmm.
here and there. We just can't connect the dots right now, and so we should at least be able to admit that much. But it's hard to admit that much when the other side is full on. We've proven it. There's full proof that he's,
Yeah.
done this, done that, done this. It's on video. It's in the emails. He admitted it. Like they just say like the most random crap that's just not reality at all. So it's hard to like give this, you know, fence sitter take of like, yeah, it looks a little shady, it looks a little weird
Yeah.
here and there, but um, so yeah,
I uh
it's
I think most of the evidence right now points to like the only like concrete I guess concrete-ish thing. Like if there's a crime right now, it looks like Hunter just used his father's name to like
that's not a
benefit
crime. Yeah.
himself. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a crime. It's
Yeah.
like it's probably very common, and it even seems like Burisma only hired him because of his name to scare away other oligarchs and
Yeah.
like other countries to say like, hey, we've got United States backing here. We've got powerful people here who will mess you up if you mess with us. Like it seems like that's literally all it
Yeah.
was. So
Like that the 10% to the big guy or whatever, that could just be seen as like a bargaining chip. Like, oh, I got to give some of this to my dad. Come on, give me a little more, you know. I mean,
well,
it'd
I
be
mean, again, we
shitty.
don't even know who the big guy is. Like we don't
Exactly.
have but we have one guy who said that the big guy is Joe Biden, literally never testified uh oath or been involved in any investigations. Like he's just said this stuff to Tucker Carlson and that's about it. And um like everybody takes that as proof, but yeah, I need a little bit more than that.
Yeah, that's fair. I like I'm new to politics kind of. I'm learning, but I feel like this isn't too difficult to interpret, you know.
I
I
mean,
need to
this
watch
one
a little
has a
more, but
lot involved. This one has a lot involved. Like there's like 5 different investigations that you would have to look through to actually know
true.
all the different
True.
things on it. Like the video essay is insanely complicated to make right now because of all the stuff that you have to go through.
I'm what's the term where you think you know enough about something but you're totally full of shit? You don't know that you don't know?
The Doomer Cogley, I don't something like that. Like
It's like
it's
the something something phenomenon. It's like you don't know that you don't know something because you know like a
yeah,
tiny little bit. You don't know that you're shit. I'm that right
yep,
now. Yeah.
yep.
But back to insanity, I guess. What
Dunning Kruger, yeah.
That's it. Dunning-Kruger. Yeah, I'm a huge Dunning-Kruger when it comes to politics, I guess, kind of.
Yeah.
Unless it's about some of those indictments, those are a little. But aside from the crashing of the car, what was like what was the worst thing aside from like the overdose and the crashing that's happened?
Probably like the fights, like the like having guns pointed at your head and um crap like that, robberies and stuff like that that would get pretty crazy. Like I think at the time they were just part of my life and they were just things that happened consistently enough to where I didn't think much of them, but looking back at them today, I'm like, "Oh my goodness, this is
Yeah.
freaking wild."
Yeah. I I never had any like violent shit happen, luckily. I didn't get like too involved cuz like I never had like a solid dealer. I had people that knew people. That's it. And like none of them would ever introduce me to a dealer ever because they would be getting shit off of me, you know. But I had horrible luck and I guess great luck on that front. But I had one guy, my dumbass went to like 3 times and he just robbed me every single time I went to him. Like he stole my headphones that I tried to trade him.
Mm.
I was I was fucking retarded for that. Like completely stupid. I don't know why I continued to go back to him. I guess I like hung out with him a lot before he robbed me. But now he's like every single time I've seen him after, he's like driving a car but he's like homeless and he looks really really rough. And he like still contacts my friend that he dated for a short period of time and she's engaged, I think. It's just some of the people like a lot of people that I know from that time are just dead.
Yeah, the guy, Big Rich, the guy who was driving the car, the guy who burnt me with the cigarette um, when I OD'd, um, he died just a couple months later from literally the same thing, Klonopin and heroin mixture.
Wow.
Yeah,
Shit.
it was wild too because I was locked up at the time and he came and visited me and looked so different, like lost a ton of weight, first time I had ever seen his hair brushed, and he had glasses on and just looked like a completely different person, like I'd never seen him clean as long as I had known him. And yeah, he looked so different and was like talking about, yeah, I'm going to church and I've got my life together and I'm working a job, and it's like, oh my goodness, you, what the hell?
Yeah.
And then next thing I know, my dad showed up one day to visitation to tell me he was dead. So
Yikes.
yeah.
My 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 buddy that I went through all of it with, he is not dead, but he's insane now. He's like got his face all tatted up. He's like a rapper, not really the best rapper. He made one song that I really liked because it was kind of clever and went kind of hard. But everything else is just it's like kind of cringy, like sad boy, like what are those?
Like
This
emo rap?
like the Suicide Boys, like that but worse. I don't
Hmm.
understand why people like that. I don't get it. I don't get it. They just none of it appeals to me. But it's yeah, one song was really good, and then one other one was okay, and then all the rest are just I have not liked a single one. He's got like 50 listeners I think on Spotify, and I think he's in a gang in like Portland, Oregon now, and he had like a gun charge that I guess he beat, but it's just the way he changed from like this this kind of short, kind of shy like kid in high school to like then this kind of crazy heroin addict who like his eyes were never really open anymore. Uh
Mhm.
and then from that he just got super fucking tall and his arm is completely blacked out and his face is covered in tattoos. It is he's got like the barbed wire right here and it looks or no, he's got barbed wire up here like Post Malone and he's got a snake right here. It looks ridiculous. He looks so goofy. You know what? I'm gonna see if I can pull up a picture and show you.
That's-
It's so bad. I told
that
him,
sounds horrible.
yeah, I remember he hit me up. He was like, "Hey, I want to get some face tattoos. What do you think?" I was like, "Don't fucking do it." And then like the next time I saw his face, it was covered. I was like, "You didn't listen, you fucking idiot." Oh my god. Oh, it's I don't get it. I don't get it. But it's probably the drugs, you know.
Yeah, that's I already I don't even think I like the tattoos that I have, and they're not even like really revealing. Like they barely stick out of sleeves. But I when I got tattoos, I thought it was cool because it was like still unique and different at the time. It was a rare thing to have tattoos. Today, literally everybody has a tattoo, and now I don't want one. Now I'm like, yeah, it'd be more unique and rare to not have a tattoo.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I've got two like professional tattoos and then I've got like a stick and poke that I got done on my ankle by a 12-year-old when I was 16. My friend's little sister fucking begged me to put a smiley face on my ankle. I was like, fine, why not? I'm baked. Do it. That was fun.
yeah. I mean, people like the scorpion tattoo. I think it is cool looking. Um, it's meant to be like 3D in a way, where like it's flat on top, goes down on the sides, like the legs come down,
Oh, I see it.
pinchers come out on the sides, the tail comes back around on my chest. So
That's
it's
nice.
yeah, yeah. I should probably get it filled in at some point, but I've had it for like 12 years now, probably.
I got this Bart Simpson like 2 years ago now, I think. No, a year and a half ago. And then this Y, this thing, the janky looking one, which is supposed to look
Mhm.
janky. It's like that's what the comic book logo looks like. Uh,
What comic book logo?
it's so here I'll point this down as much as I can. It looks like shit, but there we go.
I've never read comics, so I
Yeah,
don't know what it.
it's called Why the Last Man.
Hmm.
It's like a graphic novel more than like a comic book, which is I guess
Okay.
it's a stupid distinction to make, but it's like it's adult
No,
kind of.
because I think I would actually read those types. Like
Okay.
I've heard there's a really good one about Joker and Harley being in like an insane asylum.
Yeah, I
That
think I know what you're talking
is
about.
more of like a graphic novel
Yeah.
than a comic book that I think I might want to read someday.
DC is been doing like this Black Label line, which I guess is like the new Vertigo, except they add in sort of DC superheroes sometimes, and it's like the adult line where it's more serious stuff. There was one where they had Batman's dick for some reason. It was a little ridiculous. He was just like stripping down like as he's walking to the Batcave and he's just hanging dong and it's just like it's kind of ridiculous. Like it's yeah.
Is it big?
It was it was it was big-ish.
Oh,
Yeah. It was
based.
based and red pilled.
Hmm.
That
Yeah.
was it was a really really good comic. It was called like Batman Damned, but that was I remember the first issue came out. I went to the comic shop the day after reading it. I was like, why'd they put his cock in there? Like why? For what reason? Who's like, I really, really need to see Batman's dick in
Mhm.
this adult version of Batman. Like there's already like the 3D porn online, you know?
Yeah.
Just do some DMT. You'll see Batman's dick in your trip.
Have you ever done DMT?
I used to make it. Yeah.
Really?
I used to make it. Yeah.
I've never done DMT before. Never even
I
known anybody who's done DMT.
I've never had
Like I've
the
met people
experience.
online, but I don't know
Yeah.
people in person who have done it.
I've never had the experience that I wanted to have, which was like the breakthrough where you like go to the other world. But the first like real experience I had on it was kind of hilarious. I remember me and my girlfriend at the time were sitting on my couch, that couch, and we both took the couple hits. We leaned back. Neither of us went unconscious, which was weird. It's what like supposed to happen. Um, but I closed my eyes, and this is the
I don't
best
think you're
way I can
supposed to go
describe it.
unconscious. I thought
Well,
because
you don't.
everybody else that I heard said that somebody like talked them through it the entire time.
It depend. It's like to to most people, you'll seem unconscious, but your eyes are just kind of closed, and you're having this experience behind your eyes, like if you blast off. But um, because then you're like you're there and you're yourself apparently, and you're like speaking to these other entities. I guess that's. But I just had like a behind my eyelids experience, like
Mhm.
only behind my eyelids, not like the blast off. Apparently, you're supposed to feel like you're in a slingshot, you're getting pulled back, and then all of a sudden you go through this like tunnel of just fractals. But I remember this is the best way I can explain it. I don't have any
It
other.
sounds terrifying when people explain
Yeah,
it. Honestly, I always think like I don't think I would enjoy that. Like that doesn't
yeah.
sound fun.
Um, Mike Tyson explained it. I don't know if you've ever heard him explain it. He goes, I did it for the first time, and the whole time, like, I felt like I was being pulled back, and he goes, and then I felt like it was like, no, 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 yes, like that's how he explained it, right? Like you feel nervous, and then you let go, and you're like, yes, and then you're just there, and you're not really high, you're just kind of you in a different place, but
Wow.
like a dream. But um, what I experienced, which is it's just going to be really goofy sounding. There were two towers shaped like butt plugs that had red and black spirals around them. So
That's what I'm talking about.
they look like they were moving downwards but staying still the whole time, which is really weird. And then they move past my vision, and I just see this middle finger fly into my face, and it was disembodied. It was just a hand by itself. It flew in my face, and then behind that was Santa, and then I don't remember any of the rest.
Hmm.
That's yeah. That was my only like memorable DMT experience. Every other time, I went completely unconscious and didn't remember a second of it.
Have you ever robo tripped before?
Um, the Robitussin,
Yeah,
no, I always wanted
or
to,
like
but I never did.
corticedin, triple
Yeah, triple
C's.
C's. I
Um,
never done it.
so when I hear this stuff, I think of a really bad trip that I had on Robitussin. Normally, I enjoyed Robitussin; it was always like super chill, but sometimes it just would take forever to hit. Like sometimes you could just drink like a 8 ounce bottle within like 30 minutes, you're freaking there. But it's one time I was getting ready to go to a party. I wanted just a small trip. And so I drank like a 6 ounce bottle and nothing. So then I drank like half of a 12-ounce bottle and still nothing. And I was like, what the hell? And so then I walked to this party. And then while I'm there, I start tripping way too hard. to where like the parents are all like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." Like I'm fine. Like, and my eyes are like way too big and look super weird. Like the pupils are a weird size, and um, I don't know why, but like, my friends were like, "Hey, want to go out back and smoke weed?" And I said yes. I shouldn't have said yes. I don't know why I said yes, but if people are offering drugs, I'm gonna say yes. So I
Yep.
did it. Smoked the weed. It got way too intense, way, way, way too intense. And I remember sitting on the couch. My friend's dad is talking to me. He's sitting across from me. I don't know what he's saying. The people next to me keep like disappearing, like they're there and then they're not there. And I don't know what's going on. And then, like, gym balls, like dodgeballs, like red dodgeballs start. So I'm sitting on this couch. He's sitting on a couch across from me. They come flying out from behind him, from behind that couch, just flying at me. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, and I'm like dodging all these freaking balls. And then all of a sudden, his dad's gone. And I look around and literally everybody's gone. And I'm like, where did everybody go? What the hell? Is the party over? And so I get up and stand up, and one of the parents comes downstairs and they're like, Tom, what are you doing? We're cutting the cake. Come on. And so we go upstairs, and we're singing happy birthday, and the flames on the birthday cake were like these glaring lights just like all in my face. I'm like I'm like 10 people back. Like there's a lot of people there. But the lights on the freaking candles were just like blinding, dude. And I couldn't take it. And then I woke up the next day in my bed with like a ton of calls and text messages asking me if I was okay. Apparently, I called like a lot of ex-girlfriends, a lot of friends, a lot of people, told them that I was dying and that I was saying goodbye.
Damn.
Like I remember like parts of it just being way too intense, and all I wanted was for it to stop. Like that's all I wanted. I just wanted it to stop. It was way too much, and it just kept going and going and going and going, and I just wanted it to stop so badly. I remember throwing up really hardcore, like, and I just, yeah, I hated it. I love acid though. Acid
Me
is the
too.
freaking best, dude. Acid is probably my favorite drug of all time. Um, I would love to take like acid and Molly at some point
That's
together.
the
Like that
best
just seems like
experience
the best
ever.
thing ever.
It
Yeah, it
is.
sounds like I would imagine it is. Like it
Candy
seems like
flipping.
just like the greatest thing. Yeah, candy flipping.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine something better. But
It's
I would want, if I was going to candy flip, I would want to have a girl with me who wants to candy flip with me. Like
yes.
that's what I need. That's what I want. I remember my last girlfriend, she was like goody two shoes, never did drugs or like smoked weed or a cigarette or anything her whole life. And I remember telling her like, "Oh, please, like one day we have to do this. Like, come on." She's like, "No, like I don't want to do drugs. Like that's weird. Like you do it." And I'm like, I will do it, but I want you to do it with me." Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Candy flipping is just like it's the purest form of an acid trip. Like there's when I say that I mean like it's everything an acid trip is supposed to be. 'Cause it's like happy as fuck. There's no chance of a bad trip. I mean, in my opinion, there's probably a chance, but very, very, very unlikely because you're, giving yourself something that's going to make you so fucking happy that it's hard to fuck that up.
Mhm.
But it's just, it's, it like counteracts the shittiest parts of an acid trip, just like sometimes like the overactive body high, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you feel like you're just a little, ugh, you know? You get
Mhm.
like restless leg syndrome. You just kind of feel a little
Yeah.
shitty, but
Yeah.
the experience is just so worth it. Yeah, it fixes all of that. Makes you
Right.
so happy, so interested in everything you're seeing or experiencing, and it's just
But I bet like
perfect.
your brain for a couple of days afterwards is like fried.
Uh, I don't remember. Uh, how it was. So I'm assuming it's not like,
Too bad.
yeah, if it was especially bad, I probably remember it, you know?
Yeah. The first time I ever tripped was like on something of that substance. So like I had done mushrooms and crap like that before,
Yeah.
but the first time I ever did something like that, it was mescaline, and I
Really?
took it and it didn't really feel much, which is always the way it felt anytime I took an upper, like smoke crack, like smoke meth, like whatever it was. Uppers, I just always felt like I didn't feel it, like it wasn't there, and I don't know what it is about uppers for me, but they just don't do the thing. I never felt like a body high much, but I do remember like being in the back of a car after taking this and seeing a gas station in the distance and being like, "Oh, go to the gas station," and they're like, "Why?" I was like, I don't know, but the lights, all of those lights at the gas station, like I'm like a bug attracted to these freaking lights. They look so great. And they're like, no, 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 we're going to a party. So we go to the party. I still don't feel anything. Like it doesn't, I can't tell anything's going on. So I start drinking. What I normally do. I want to get high. I don't feel anything. I'm going to do something else. So I start drinking, start smoking a little weed. We get in the car, and again, in the back of this car, and I start like screaming, like, slow down, slow down, you're going way too fast. And they're like, no, we can't slow down. And I'm like screaming at the top of my lungs, like, I'm going to jump out. I'm going to jump out. I'm like opening the door and they're like grabbing me and pulling me back and don't jump out. So they slow down. They said they're going like 5 miles an hour in a 45. And I'm still screaming at the top of my lungs, slow down. I can't take it. I can't take it. Pull over. So they pull over. They pull into this like parking lot for a park, and I run, like I get out and just take off running. And I don't know why. I don't know why I'm running, but I immediately get out of the car, take off running, and I get to this tree and just like hang over the tree like this, and then just start puking.
Oh.
And I'm puking onto these 3 rocks there that grow mouths and like faces and just are like eating my throw up as I'm like puking right into their freaking mouths. Like, oh,
Brutal.
like yeah, it's just like
Oh my
eating up
god.
all of my throw up. And that was the only like visual I had whatsoever for like the first like maybe 5 times I did acid. I never had like hallucinations except for that very first time on mescaline when I threw up into the rocks' mouths. Like that was it. That's not like a great experience. Like that wasn't like
Yeah,
this
that's a
like
weird one.
dope experience.
That's a
Yeah.
weird one. I think the only time I've had like hallucinations like that from psychedelics, not from the up for 3 days, but I it was just from the DMT. But that was also behind my eyelids. I've never really seen anything like in front of me except for the psychosis. But the first time I did any type of psychedelics was that was ridiculous. That was so bad. It was it's a great story, but it's horrible. And something came up recently that reminded me of it all. I'll end the little story with that. It was kind of funny. It's relating to destiny. But I I
You
took
went to go sell him ecstasy and you gave him meth instead.
yes. Fucking psychic, dude.
Base. Base.
Base as fuck. Um but no, I took 2 tabs my first time, which was so stupid. Um, and it wasn't acid. It was whatever that 2CB 25I shit is, where it like kind of numbs your tongue. It's a little bit bitter, but it's intense. It's so intense. It is not LSD. It is like super LSD with less visuals
Okay.
and more intense like thought trip, you know? Like the crazy thinking where you can't get a grasp on reality. It was like that. Um and I was 16. I was on my couch at like 2 a.m. and I was watching Teen Wolf for some reason. And I remember if my mom had walked out into the living room and asked me why the fuck I was awake, I was going to tell her I'm training with the wolf. I was like, I'm training with him. I was like, I'm training. That was going to be my excuse. Yeah. I had these flashbacks, not really flashbacks. I had these experiences um, of a childhood on a street nearby where I live. It's like down in a shittier sort of area. I ended up living there later in life, which is crazy. But like it was flashbacks to a fake childhood. uh and I like made up a word. This is where the reminder comes in. I made up a word. Scribbles. Do you recognize the name Scribbles? The Indian guy that goes into Destiny's channel, like recently. No.
Mm-mm.
Um, but I made up that word Scribbles, and the description was scribble Bible on a chalkboard. I have no idea what that means to this day. It was literally just, as I'm remembering what it looked like, it was a fucking chalkboard that I wrote on. For some reason, I called it a scribble in this trip. But I when I got up, oh yeah, and while I was having this crazy experience, I was like curled up in a ball, like hugging my knees, laying on my side on the couch, just like rocking back and forth, like just giggling to myself, and I'm like freaking the fuck out. And as I'm walking back to my bedroom, I'm like leaning on the wall, like my shoulders just leaning on the wall. It took me like 5 minutes to walk like 50 feet. Um, I thought I thought I had to like balance because I was walking on a ledge, kind of. It was so weird. And then I got into my room and I was laying like I think my, I, like, I was looking directly at like shades, uh, of my, like the windows in my room. And, the center of these shades had like some like math like formula, and then there were a bunch of other ones just flying out of it, just all angles, just formulas flying out. What the fuck is going on? both both window shades.
Like a beautiful mind
Yep.
type thing.
Yeah, just like that weird, the meme with the chick that's like confused with all like the math shit,
Yeah.
like the XA whatever the fuck. Yeah.
Yeah. I've been trying to get that on my stream to where I can get like a green screen with all of like the white math problems flying at me, but I can't find a good one anywhere.
Jesus Christ. It's the third time in a row I've inhaled water.
Nice.
Jesus Christ.
Getting high. That H2O.
For real. This is the new drug. New addiction. But when I went to the bathroom, the toilet while I was trying to pee was just like expanding and shrinking, expanding and shrinking. I was looking at my eyes in the mirror and they were like going all over the place. And then I just laid back in bed and I just like giggled myself to sleep for the next 3 hours. It was so uncomfortable. I just could not get comfortable at all. I was just flopping all around. Oh my God, it was terrible. But yeah, that was the first psychedelic experience. Then the next one, I did the same thing, except I think I only did one tab, but I was hanging out with my sister and my buddy, and my sister was in the basement playing Halo, and I went downstairs and I sat next to her and I like stared at like her cheek, and there were like these sort of Greek style like letters, right? Like shit, like the Greek letters you'd see on a frat house.
Okay.
And I told my mom like years later about this experience, I think she might have been full of shit when she replied with this. She was like, "That's crazy. Your sister was really into Greek mythology then." I don't think she was. I think she was trying to like connect it for some reason. It's like, "You were
Sure.
psychic on drugs?" But she freaked the fuck out. She tweaked out. She was like, "You're an addict." I wasn't then, but boy, did I turn into one. Yeah.
Yeah, I never talked to my parents about any drug stuff until after I got out of prison and was clean and was like, making amends and all of that crap. They didn't believe like 90% of the stuff that I told them. I think they thought I was making it all up. So,
Really?
yeah.
You had it that well hidden.
No, I was just a habitual liar to where like
Oh,
once
okay.
I'm like trying to be honest, it still sounds like I'm lying anyways. So,
Okay. That's fair.
yeah.
Um, what what was the tipping point? Like what made you stop?
Um, I people ask me this question all the time, and like, what was rock bottom or what got you off? And I normally say like I don't know because I would think like overdosing would probably dying probably be it. Um, Getting into the car wreck, all of that, but I was still uh shooting up literally the next day and
Same.
continued. Um, so going to prison, being locked up. So I was locked up in county for like 6 months, got out for 2 weeks, and then um, got locked back up. During those 2 weeks, I was like on a full hardcore bender and was like, yeah, just like jumped right in feet first, like I never stopped. And then, yeah, getting locked up for about a year after that. My parents were like saying they were disowning me, like my girlfriend just like stopped talking to me, the just like friends dying while I was in there. That maybe was rock bottom, I guess. Cuz I remember all the time like all the old heads who had already gotten clean saying to me like, "So are you going to get out and do drugs again this time?" And I'm like, every other time I got locked up, everybody would ask me. I'd always say, "No. Nope, definitely not. I'm going to be clean this time for sure. I'm going to be clean. I'm definitely staying clean." And then the second I get out, I go right back to doing drugs. Um, but this time everybody's asking me, "Are you going to get clean this time? Are you going to do it this time?" And I'm like, I don't know. I have no idea because every time I tell you guys yes, but I go right back to it anyways. So I don't know. And I feel like maybe that frame of mind really changed. Um, cause like you've tried getting clean before, you know what it's like to think one moment, yes, I'm definitely
Oh yeah.
stopping. This is it. It's going to be awesome. I've made the decision. I'm throwing everything away. I'm done. This is I've had it. And then, like, it just, I don't, it does, it's hard to explain to people who aren't addicts, but there's just this, like, it's like a switch happens, like, within a
Yeah.
matter of seconds where, like, you're so zoned in on like, yes, I'm definitely staying clean. This is awesome. It's gonna be so great. And then literally just whew, no, I'm going to get drugs right now. This is great. It's gonna be fine. I'm going to get drugs. This is gonna be like just what I don't know how it happens, but it just boom, just like
Yep.
real quick, just like you go from like definitely staying clean, definitely never doing drugs the rest of my life to like just within a split second, I'm going to get drugs right now. It's happening. And like as soon as you make that decision to go get drugs, there is nothing in the world that can stop you
Yep.
from going and getting those drugs. Like
Yeah.
there's literally nothing that can stop that drive to go get them in that moment. And so I think this time coming out and maybe not having this mind frame of like, I'm definitely staying clean. I'm definitely going to be clean. It's going to be great. I'm definitely doing it. But instead thinking like, I don't know. I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna try this time. Like I have to actually like I can't think I'm going to be clean. I have to actually plan on being clean now. I got to stay away from these people. Don't talk to those people. Don't answer these messages. Don't answer that phone call. Don't go to this place. Don't hang out with that crowd. Like, and it was just, I think that like the actual like mind frame of trying to do things that were going to put me on the best path to not do drugs, hoping that I wasn't going to have that switch happen. um I think that probably made the biggest difference for me.
For me, it was weird. It was like I just was threatened to get kicked out. I was like, you know what? I'm not like all my other friends. They like their parents had kicked them out, and they were just like, "Word, bye." I was like, you know what? I kind of don't want to be them. I was like, they got high to like get high. I got high and I was like kind of functional, kind of. I didn't have a job, but like I wasn't the nodding all the time guy. Like that
Mm.
22 e-pill thing was probably the craziest like time I've ever had where I just like took so much. I'd never really do that. I usually try to like take like a reasonable amount so that I'm coherent but having a good
Mhm.
time. But
Same. I
yeah.
hated getting high with my friends and they're all like drooling on
Yeah.
themselves to sleep. I'm like, why do you guys get high just to go to freaking sleep?
Yeah.
Like, why do you do this? This is so obnoxious. Like,
It's
it's weird.
brutal. It's just so dumb. They're just just fucking sucking their own dick all the time. It's
Mhm.
so just I remember hearing that phrase for the first time. They're like, you just shoot up and you'll be sucking your own dick. I'm like, okay. Yeah. I never got it.
Did you ever?
But
I assume you smoked, but did you ever like try dip?
yeah.
I loved doing some sort of opiate, like whether it's painkillers or boy or whatever, and then putting a dip in. It was like freaking heaven, dude. I even today, like taking Suboxone and then putting a dip in, it's freaking great. Like I love just putting a dip in and just it's like this super chill feeling.
Yeah.
That's it's so much better because like when you do boy and then you want to smoke a cigarette, you end up like chain smoking like you're chasing a dragon, like you're
Yeah.
trying to get that like oh yes, it's so close, I just need to like you're just trying so hard to like get those
Yeah.
cigarettes down. But you put a dip in, it's there and you're there the entire time and it like for hours at a time.
Huh.
It's so much better. Yeah.
Interesting. I'd never
Mhm.
tried that. Um,
Go
eh,
back to doing heroin, try some dip.
true.
Mhm.
Based. I will do that. You know what? I'm on my way now. Just kidding. I what's crazy is like 3 months after I got clean for like the final time, the first time like I was in Cape Cod and I like found a dealer out there and my buddy, the guy that has the crazy tattoos, I sent you I DM'd you his Instagram photo, by the way. Like it was like a link, but it shows the photo. Um he called me from the hospital and he was like crying and he was like, I just hope he's like, you're gonna get off of this stuff, man. I overdosed. And he was like, are you all right? And I was like, I'm good. And I tried to get off, and that's when I like got the Suboxone prescription. They had like walk-in clinics out there. But the final time, uh I like 3 months after I stopped doing all drugs, like everything completely out. Like I still drank occasionally, but that was like weekend shit. But that didn't really affect me
I'm
like
sorry.
that.
1 second. Somebody in my chat said, okay, dip is not the same as chewing tobacco. Chewing tobacco is different. Chew is like big leaves that go on the side of your cheek and you hold them there and then you spit it out. Dip is like shredded little fine uh like
Yeah.
stems and crap that go into your lip like that, and then you spit the juice out like that. They're similar processes, but very different mechanisms.
Did somebody say chewing
Yeah.
tobacco? Oh, I see what they said. Yeah. No. Yeah. No, I've done dip. Yeah. I used to do the snooze packages as well occasionally. Those were like, I liked those because it wasn't a mess. But
Yeah.
we had like 3 months after I got clean, everything. I I woke up one morning and I just like, it was like I had an epiphany. It was like all of a sudden I felt like I had a brain. And I was like, what was I doing? I all of a sudden was like confused about every decision I had ever made my entire life. I was like, what the fuck was my reasoning for any of that? It's like none of that made any sense. Did you ever have that sort of experience where you just like had like a flip, like sort of like the I'm gonna get drugs switch, but like the
I mean, I
I don't
had
understand why
those,
I ever
but
got
that's what
drugs?
I'm talking about. Is like those were all the times when I'm like, yes, I'm clean. I'm
Yeah.
getting clean this time. I can't believe I made all these dumb decisions, but I would do that. Like I would have this enlightening moment where I'm like, what the hell am I doing? Like what is this? Like who am I?
Okay.
And then I would make that decision, but every time I would go right back to it. So.
Huh. Okay. I'd never had one of those while I was on drugs. I had that 3 months later and it stuck. That's interesting.
Nice.
I
That's wild.
just does do you ever smoke weed like still or
Or rarely,
rarely?
once in a blue moon.
I feel like after like doing all that, I smoke weed and I feel like I go insane while I'm smoking.
Yeah.
Like
Same. I
y-
lose my freaking mind.
yeah, I'm like in my head and I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm such a loser. What am I doing with my life?" I'm
Dude, I
like,
do the same thing.
"Yeah.
Bro, I've tried like I get high and then I'll watch my own streams back and I'm like, I am never streaming again. I am the biggest douchebag on the earth. Why am I showing everybody like what a loser I am? This is so
Yeah.
weird. I'm so awkward. The way I say every word, I don't believe a freaking word that's coming out of my mouth and I'm telling the truth. That's how freaking weird I sound. Like, yeah,
You
it
just
was
hate
horrible. Like
yourself
every
so
time.
much.
Yes. Oh,
I
I
don't
hate it, dude. I become so insecure out of nowhere, bro. I hate
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. You could
It's
be
like
like,
probably sometimes I'm like, why is this the only time I'm ever insecure? Is this me waking up? Is this me like actually seeing reality? Is when I'm high, this is what everybody else freaking sees, and now makes sense. Like
oh my God, it's so bad. I hate it so much because like it's
everything
the
seems
thought loops.
performative. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Everything seems
Yes.
performative to me. Yes.
Yes. And is it like a
Everyone
thought
else
loop?
seems performative too. Yes, yeah, like it. Yes, everybody else seems performative. I seem performative, and I'll get yes. It drives me insane.
Yeah. And like you feel like you don't really want to talk to anyone because you feel like you're gonna have to put on an act and you don't
Yes,
know if you
it just
can.
seems so fake.
Yeah.
Everything seems fake. Everyone seems fake, including myself, and I just don't know how to like act anymore. It's I hate it.
Like I hear people call that paranoia. Like someone in the chat was like, you have to smoke weed every day to beat the paranoia, right?
Mhm.
I I hear people call that paranoia and I'm like, is that paranoia? Because like when I smoked crack in my friend's house, I remember I was like sitting at their window, like oh my God, I think I saw cop lights. I was like, I think I saw some cop lights. I was like, somebody's walking through the lawn. I was like, no. I know I heard a cop. No, there's a cop. There's a siren. I can hear it. See the red and the blue, the hue on the grass? It's right there. It's right fucking there. Like I'm freaking out. Like I know I see the fucking cop lights. They're there, but they're not there. And I know they're not there, but I'm looking for them. You know?
Mhm.
I feel like that's paranoia.
Yep.
But yeah, that I feel like the weed is like it's almost like psychosis, but not psychosis. It's like you're not like necessarily believing shit that doesn't exist. You just have a new spin on it, you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of funky. It's kind of
Yeah,
weird.
you see things through a very different lens that makes the human experience look so put on, like,
Yeah.
because it actually is, and it is that you actually see it in that moment. Like, you see like a lot of the socialization. All of a sudden you see like hand movements and facial expressions and like all of these different things that seem so natural in the moment and sound so normal when you're listening to somebody, but then when you get high and you watch it, you can see that so much clearer, and it just looks like you're freaking putting on a show, and it's so strange.
Yeah.
I hate it. I hate it so much.
Yeah. Kind of makes me wonder how Lauren was talking so like mostly coherent during that conversation earlier. And you could tell she was a little bit baked, but
She talks so slowly when she
yeah.
does this, where she
Yeah.
speaks very, very slowly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It was kind of funny. It was a little entertaining. But
Mhm.
I
But that makes sense where she's like, "Oh, anytime I'm on here, I'm high." I'm like, that makes so much sense, dude.
yeah,
I
it
get it
does.
now.
Yeah, it does. I the other day, it was like probably like 2 weeks ago now. I made some mushroom tea and I wanted to stream tripping like lightly, wanted to like microdose. I only put like a 0.75 of a gram in there, but I didn't know that honey was acidic, so I didn't finish the tea. But holy fuck, that half of the tea just have you ever had mushroom tea? Like, no? Have you done mushrooms?
Anytime I've taken mushrooms, I've always done them through chocolates.
Dude, chocolates. Okay. So
Only chocolates every time.
with
And I never
tea,
made them myself. I always bought them that way. I always bought them in chocolates.
I really want to get the mushroom chocolate bars. I've had mushroom chocolates, but like my friend made them and it was just like ground up mushrooms in some chocolate and they kind of sucked. It was
That's
like
pretty much what it is. Yeah.
yeah. Um but yeah, when you put them in tea, you put like honey or lemon and it I didn't know that honey was acidic until I didn't remember that honey was acidic. I probably heard it before. I don't fucking know. But I put honey in there because I didn't want to put lemon in
I'm
there.
sorry. Hold on. I somebody so Mike Hunt just posted in chat. It said, last time I smoked, I told my sister, "Yo, I can barely see." And she said, "That's because your eyes aren't." High people are so funny,
Oh
dude.
my god, yeah. That shit's funny as fuck. I remember those. I remember when I used to smoke and it was actually fun. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, when you put like acidic substances with mushrooms, it changes the substance. So it no longer is psilocybin. It's psilocin, which is just what it turns into in your stomach. So you're just speeding up the process. A lot of the
I
time,
mean, doesn't that make it curdle though too? If you put it with some sort of dairy product, like
um,
normally acidic stuff. So like you put lemon juice with milk, it'll make the milk curdle immediately. Um,
okay, yeah, that makes sense. I I think I know what you're talking about. It's a dead.
so I thought you said brownies. Don't brownies have like dairy in them?
I make tea with mushrooms,
Oh, tea. Okay, you did
but
say tea. Okay,
chocolate,
ignore me.
chocolate. If you put any acid in that, okay, so that would be that makes sense why it's like the best subject to or stuff to put mushrooms in. But yeah, with the acidic shit breaks it down. I believe when the reason a lot of people do that is not only because it hits way faster and way harder, but because it won't last as long. And I think that when you do that, your stomach doesn't have to do this. So you don't have as much nausea. Um, that's why I always liked it. But I feel like every time I've done that lately, it's like I get this intense body high and none of the fun. And I just get uncomfortable. And like after a while, it'll just be like this sudden sense of calm, but then it'll go right back. And it's like I just feel so uncomfortable. It's like overwhelming. But yeah, I wanted to do that and like get on stream for a little and like have a nice experience. And I'm just like so uncomfortable. I'm just like, I can't stream right now. I was like, I feel like shit. I was like, I'm not doing it. I can't talk to people. I was like, yo, human interaction right now, gross. Have you ever had one of those like not trips, like almost microdosing, but like you feel a little weird, like your thought process is a little wonky, but you're not really seeing anything. You're kind of sober, but you just like don't want to talk to people.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like just
Yep.
so uncomfortable. It's like, oh, I wasted my
I
money.
had that.
Fun.
I had that happen at a concert where I was like, I was like, I peaked way too early. Like I took 2 hits and I should have taken like half of one. I took 2 hits, was like, boom, just like all of a sudden, just like way too much was happening, way too many people around me. And then as I'm coming down, it's like I'm kind of in this in between stage for like hours and hours afterwards. And I just, yeah, I didn't want to be around people. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to have to like have any sort of engagement because it felt like it was work. It felt like it was like
Yeah.
really hard work to have some sort of engagement with somebody.
Yeah. It's so awkward too. You just like feel awkward. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it. There was one time where I you know what? This was another crazy I did a lot of things experience. I went to a rave and I took 5 different drugs. I took LSD, the 25i stuff from the first trip I ever had, the crazy intense stuff. So LSD, 25i, cocaine, Adderall, and Molly. And for some reason, I I think I was like a sad little virgin back then. I was in high school, but
Mm-hmm.
I had all this game all of a sudden. Like I was just I'd never picked up a chick before. Never like picked up a chick from a concert or like a bar, but I just did that. But then like when we got I drove for 2 hours after this show with this girl in my car and then my friends in the back seat that I like I dropped somebody off, I picked somebody else up and then I went to my other friend's empty place. As soon as I got there, I was just dead. Like everything left. I was like, "Oh, I'm not getting laid. That sucks." It just went away. I was so smooth the whole night. And then as soon as we got to the place we could just like kind of be alone, it just went away.
Wow,
Yeah. I was like,
that's
what luck? What
I
luck?
never I've I stopped taking Adderall when I was like maybe in 8th grade. No, it was way before that. Maybe like 6th grade, 6th grade. So like 2 years later, I had a cold. I was sick. They prescribed me this medication called Odol. Um, it was for like inflammation and congestion and crap like that. So I went and took some. Wasn't helping. Still super congested. Um, and I was like working on homework, and I finished it super quickly. And so I went and got some more. And now it's like 1 a.m. I've got school the next morning. Still super congested and just like not tired at all. So I go and got some more, got some more, got some more. Eventually, like my skin is all like clamped up. Like there, there's like what do you call it? Goosebumps all over my
Oh,
skin.
okay.
And I don't know what's happening. I think I'm having like an allergic side effect to this. And so I go check was taking my brother's Adderall. I was not taking the Odol. I took like way too much Adderall. And I had been like talking to chicks like on, I think it was AOL Instant Messenger at the time, like all night, just like hitting up chicks and like to girls that were always just like kind of friends but were hot, just all of a sudden like hitting on them super hardcore. And the next day I'm at school with them, and the goosebumps had gone away, and this girl came over that I was like chatting up the night before, like comes over and puts her hand on my chest and is like talking to me and flirting with me. She puts her hand on my chest and she's like, what just happened? Takes her hand off, and I lift up my shirt, and her handprint turned into goosebumps. You could literally see the handprint. And so then these like, she calls her friends over, like they start writing their names like with their fingers, and so any part of my skin that they touched immediately had goosebumps, and they would stay there for like 20 minutes, and you could see it. So it was very like thick, like hardcore, like I could feel my skin just like, I don't know, it was so odd. And then the next day, all of a sudden, I woke up and was like, oh no, I have like somewhat of a flirty romantic relationship with this chick that I don't want one with. Like, I don't, what the hell? Like, this, our like entire relationship changed over the last couple of days, and I'm not happy about this.
Oh,
And I
God.
went and told her too. I was the awkward thing, but I went and told her. I was like, I'm so sorry. I took way too much Adderall. I didn't mean to be hitting on you like this. I think I even made up that like one of my friends liked her just so that I could like back out without, like, my best friend Ezra, he really likes you, and you'd be really upset if I actually sorry. So I had to think of somebody that she would have no interest in, so that I could totally just like pawn it off on somebody else.
Quick thinking. Shrewd
Yeah.
move. That's good. That's
But
very
I do gotta go. I gotta get to bed. It's 5
ditto.
a.m. here.
Yeah,
It was fun.
I got work at
Appreciate you coming on.
3 p.m. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, man.
If you ever want to chat about more past stupidity, hit me up.
I'm down, dude.
Awesome.
Have a good one.
You too, bud. See you later.